All right, here's a short update. I added the true bypass switch and went through some crazy steps to get it. It was a situation where it was from an old guitar pedal, and I had to do some desoldering. Had to bring in some other tools to get it loose, and it even involved a hacksaw. And hopefully it works. And you can hear the effect. It's working. I'm going to go ahead and press this. And here's your true bypass. So no effect. And if you were to step on it, if it was in the enclosure. All right, so that's the effect side. Press that. Dry. So you got your dry channel there. Dry channel. Hopefully this will make the grade and don't have to purchase another one. So it's good when you can save a few dollars. So anyway, I added the green light to it. May change that out. That's extra small, so I've got to maybe change that out. It's an indicator whether it's on or not. So if I turn it off, you will hear that it's a dry channel. If I turn it on, you can hear the effect happening. And I've already demonstrated what all the 5-way switch can do, and a 6-way switch. So pretty cool that I got the true bypass switch on there. Dry channel again. And so as long as I have the 9 volts, I'll definitely have something that is operational. All I gotta do is get it in an enclosure and it should be good to go. Here's a briefing on the stuff I've done today. Well, I put in the took that switch, and like I said, it came from an old guitar pedal that it actually ended up being something that was wrong or faulty at the time. And I took it out and saved it. Never know when you're going to need a part. And lo and behold, this thing works after I cleaned it all off. And, you know, it had that little board that goes across it, and I had to do some hacksawing to get it out of there. Was very careful, of course, but you know, tried to do a lot of soldering, and it just, you know, 6 prongs is hard to do. You know, I need one of those things that heats the solder and extracts it at the same time. That would be nice to have. Anyway, so thing about it, got the 6-way rotary switch in there. That was from the other day. And I just got through doing this. This is going to be the vibrato switch on it. So I had to clean that up and get it nice and tidy. Upon putting the true bypass switch. So with the true bypass switch, what I did, you know, it has to have the LED. So I ended up putting this together, and now it's got the bezel around it, or the harness. I've already tested everything. It looks good. Okay, what we see here is I wanted to go back and say there's the power section. And off of this power section, you know, you get your 5 volts, which powers the PT2399. Off of that, you've got to do a voltage bias, and that voltage bias is what gives you how you're going to control your op amp. And there's a VC. You get another power supply that's going to control the oscillator of these chorus pedals. So this is a chorus pedal, but I think it does a little bit more than that. I've been looking into univibes, all kinds of different modulation pedals. A lot of these modulation pedals are based on the rotating speaker Leslie cabinet sound. And so there's a lot to explore with the different circuitry to get these different modulations. I'd like to build a flanger. I'd like to build a phaser, things such as that. So I understand modulation and really combine maybe something of all the things I've learned and put it together in one multi-effects unit or something like that. So a lot to be done. Got to add the switch, which is going to give me the vibrato, and it's got to go all in Enclosure. So hopefully I'll get everything assembled here shortly. Okay, so out of all the videos I've ever made, I never really talked about the assembly of what goes into this. Looking at that, you got to make that thing fit into this. So I figured I'd go ahead and make a video with this part of the stage, I guess. And why I want to do that is because I had to map out where everything is going to go. So looking at this, I folded down the legs and it's going to go up in this quadrant. So the way I'm going to have this is the speed and rate right here. Those are two potentiometers. What this is the LED. LED is probably going to be up here. And this is where the switch is going to go, which gives you chorus and vibrato. And there's where the six-way switch is going to go. And then, funny place to put this because you'd think it'd be in the center, but I've got this way over here, which is your bypass switch. Now, the reason for that is I've got to make some clearance on how this thing is going to go. And I did it with metric. Say that's a metric ruler. You figure out what your distance is. And this is a 1590 BBS, which gives you a little wider to work with. So I got my millimeter calculations going on now. And from there to there, you're talking 35, 37, 38, 39 millimeters. So that's a little bit deeper than, say, something off of that. That's the reason I went with the BBS. I was very disappointed because this thing is huge. And so what I've opted to do is hang on to it because I hate to return anything. I'm just that way. And I'm going to make this thing work one way or the other. So we're talking about, like I said, almost 40 millimeters right there. I'd say it's about 39, something like that. And my clearance on the back side of this thing, and we're just talking about under about 64 millimeters. That's why I've chose to go with the millimeters. And if I was to look at that, it's going to be pretty close to get it in there. We said 64. Clearance is maybe about 65. So it's going to be close. And so I've opted to put everything here on the right side, thinking I can get that board underneath there to fit into that section or quadrant, whatever you want to call it. And then I toyed with what I've got here. I've got jacks in and out that are going to go here, and I got to label that so I know what's what. And then the DC power supply. So nothing on this side, nothing on that side, nothing on that side. Everything seemed to indicate that I needed to do it that way. So that's what I've done today. I didn't really go and elaborate into any of these other videos on my thoughts on how I did that one. And talk about a wiry mess underneath that thing. You lift the hood of that thing and it's crazy. But it's got 8 jacks that are the individual channels, and then 12 potentiometers there. So this was like this was the learning curve for me. This is why looking at something that complicated can benefit you down the road, where all you have really is 2 potentiometers and some indication whether it's on or off, some different switching, and how you turn it on or off, and then where are you going to put the jacks. Bottom line, I should have made this a smaller PCB. When you're picking out an enclosure, of course I measured, but it's always a gamble. And I went with this one because I wanted it to be a little deeper to work with, and I wanted a smaller footprint so it would go on the pedal board, of course. And just built out of spare parts.